with the Arsenal versus Liverpool game. What is all these talks about Arsenal being ultra defensive coming into that game? I don't. It's like people will even go as far as saying Arsenal started the game with 7 defensive-minded players. Then all of a sudden Rice is not a DM. All of a sudden Merino is not a DM. When we know too well that last season these players didn't play as DM. Where is it coming from? It's like everybody wants to have an opinion. I was listening to Peter Schumacher's statement, listening to a couple of things, and then it was Adam Crafton from the Athletic that said all this ultra defensive talk is being taken all over the top because as far as it's concerned, both teams played with a cagey style. The game was defended by one moment of brilliance. Everybody was expecting the other team to make a mistake or the other team to show their class to win the game. Liverpool, too, just like you rightly mentioned before the show started, they didn't play to their best level. They played with their hands on the brake. It was a cagey and boring game until Szoboszlai scored. And after the goal, guess what Liverpool did? They packed the bus.
I think, even
simple analogy.
Even Anderson at the end of the game, he said it was an uneventful game because he expected his side to play better, but they didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they didn't play better. But the thing is, why we're asking, like, especially me, why I'm asking questions about Arsenal is that you said there is a moment that the team should have showed their class so that they can win the game.
Yes.
And Arsenal have got enough class on the bench for Arteta to introduce them so that they can go ahead and try to do something in the game. You need to make substitutions sometimes. We all know that Gabriel Martinelli wasn't at his best in this game. He was nowhere to be found in the game. At least bring somebody on that can try to do something. Maybe Mikel Merino can resist him for a little bit of time because he's physical, he can help in the pressing style, and then he can go ahead and look and try to win balls for Arsenal, especially aerial duels, which is very, very important to Mikel at the time of the team. Which I understand that maybe that is why he kept him a little bit longer and he didn't make that substitution. But Martinelli should have come off a little, for quite some time, and then Ebere Eze should have had enough time to try and impact the game. For the amount of minutes that Eze played, you can see the difference clearly that this guy is far better than what Arsenal have had on the pitch for like 70 minutes. I think that is where the question should be because Arsenal should have went for the game. And Victor Gyökeres was nowhere to be found, just like you said before the start of the show, because they were not creating anything for him. Then creators should have come on. Quite know that Noni Madueke, was tormenting the life of Milos Kerkez over the course of the game, but he couldn't do anything with all of that space that he had. That is why I felt like Arsenal missed Bukayo Saka, because if Saka had that kind of space, something would have happened. Seriously, something would have happened, but you cannot compare the quality. But Bukayo Saka is way ahead of this guy, Noni Madueke.
Now it's not even a debate.
Yeah, exactly. That is what I understand. But Arsenal defensively, they were very okay. They defended everything that came their way, and in the midfield too, I think they did a very good job, especially in the second half where Liverpool actually, kept more of the ball and tried to create something. And with that, they didn't create so much big chances that you see and say that they should have won.
Okay, Nazir, let me explain something to you that I noticed in that very game. It is clear that around that time, people are crying for Ebere Eze to be introduced. Arteta said only the game that Eze have only trained with them 3 times.
Yes. Because of that.
And when you talk about moment Arsenal had that they didn't take, Eze was guilty of one.
Yeah, he is.
Eze had Arsenal clearest chance to draw them back at 1-1. So sometimes you think the solution is on the bench because you have players on the bench, but it might actually not be the truth.
Yeah,
it might not be, because Eze had Arsenal's most clear chance in that second half. What was he waiting for?
But that is only one chance. At least
but again, when you're talking about quality off the bench, but sometimes these players need time to settle. Now that's one. Now, secondly, again, I look at Liverpool, and coming into this game, their top marksman was Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool.
Yes.
I'm not sure he touched the ball up to 15 times in that game.
Yeah, he did it, but at least you can see that he's showing himself he's trying to do something. But
you know why? You know why he was trying to do something? You know why he was showing himself trying to do something? He was getting service from those behind.
Yeah, exactly.
We just mentioned Szoboszlai. A makeshift right back was man of the match because Martinelli couldn't dribble him even once. You just mentioned Noni Madueke, who was getting isolated with Kerkez. Even the time that Gyökeres will pull out to do a 2-to-1 with him, he returned back, and then, although I like his directness, but the players need to get used to his direct style of play. Because when Gyökeres will pull out, there was a sequence in the first half where Gyökeres pulled out for the box, I'm expecting a cutback. But Noni Madueke, for who he is, felt like, okay, this is me against Kerkez now. I know him. Let me burn him. So instead of playing that cutback, he tried to go direct on. Yes, and then and to show you that people will say Arsenal are relying on corner kicks. How many corner kicks did they get in that game against Liverpool?
A lot.
9?
Okay, 9, yes.
What brought about it? Pressure.
Yeah, the attack. That's why they gave the corner.
If you don't attack, you won't get corner.
Especially in the first half.
Yes, if you don't attack, you won't get corners.
Arsenal attacked a lot.
If you don't attack, how are you raking up corners? So sometimes when I see all this analogy, I'll just be laughing. And people fall for it.
Yeah, they should have pushed that. That is why I said they should have pushed.
Okay, you know why you are getting those corner kick? The wingers could not bring the ball into the box, so it's getting cleared.
Yes.
And who is the man that's supposed to be in the box? Gyökeres. Yes. Was the ball coming? It wasn't coming.
But Gyökeres, how many duels has
like I will tell you, as a striker, how many does Haaland wins? Like I will tell you something. If only Arteta was being proactive, Martinelli shouldn't have returned for that second half.
It's as simple as that.
Then you would have had Doman play on the right. Or maybe somebody else play on the right. Now, on the context of play, both teams didn't create much.
No, none of them did.
Arne Slot admitted it. Both teams didn't create much. And the game was even Szoboszlai himself called it a moment of brilliance, but he said he has scored a better goal. There is one goal he scored in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think there is one he scored for Hungary.
Hungary against Turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Hungary against Turkey.
Close to 40 yards.
And you know what? Arsenal didn't, because they were blaming the goalkeeper. How can you blame a goalkeeper for a ball that beats the wall?
But he went and packed himself in one area.
But when your wall, do you know how tall the Arsenal wall is?
And that was what he did against Bruno Fernandes, I think, the last season.
Wait, do you know how tall the Arsenal wall is?
It was very tall, but he should have stood in the center and then you see everything. But
do you know how tall? Wait, do you know how tall? Do you know how tall the Liverpool wall, the Arsenal wall is?
Yeah, because they have got so many tall players.
If you beat that wall, there's nothing a goalkeeper can do.
But
because the goalkeeper is not meant. See, I understand that. See, like when you see a moment of brilliance, 9 out of 10 times, Szoboszlai won't score that. That's how you know a moment of brilliance. Taking a free kick like that.
I think even
it was just pure class on another level.
Yeah, but the goalkeeper, I think he should have stood at the center of that post. Because by that...
No, you can't stay in the center. No, you can't stay in the
center. In one area.
You can't stay at the center. From that distance, you can't stay at the center.
This is happening for the second time.
Look at that distance.
This is happening for the second time.
You can't stay at the center.
He always park himself in one area and then the player will put the ball in the other side and then they will score. Bruno Fernandes is the same.
Which goalkeeper stands in the middle?
Which
goalkeeper stands in the middle?
When the positioning, how can you park yourself?
Which goalkeeper in the world stands in the middle?
Alright,
Nazir,
the thing I can tell you is that not much people will agree with this. But like you said, Liverpool were not brilliant yesterday.
They weren't at all. They
were not brilliant yesterday.
They didn't create anything.
Arsenal were even worse.
Yeah, I think
Arsenal were worse.
Yeah, at some point that they even kept the ball and put pressure on Arsenal, especially I think in the latter stages of the game. I thought they would have done better with their chances, but they could only score one scrappy goal that was even offside. Apart from that, they couldn't create anything. Salah was nowhere to be found. Cody Gakpo too was kept quiet for so long in the game. The only person that was trying to do something was Hugo Ekitike. And in midfield, I think that is the area that they have lacked, and that is why I feel like they are still missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he was their creator before he left. So
okay, see my brother who is a Liverpool fan, Satasho, said the keeper should have stayed in the middle. It was a boring match, but that's what you get when two supposedly champions are playing.
Yeah.
I have seen Pep and Klopp finish a 90 minutes and then gave each other high five. Because they were cancelling. The game was full of tackles. Yeah. I was watching it with Nelford, Debo, and Sonny, and the game was full of tackles. Yeah. I was like, what kind of game is this? What, even a free kick had to decide it. Because the tackle was just flying, but credit must go to Liverpool. Their setup is brilliant. For them to have learned from conceding against Arsenal from set pieces. And even to now, now they are defending with a low block. I was watching Dambon before the game started. He was in the Premier League studio. And he was analyzing how Liverpool have now rejigged their set piece defending to be defending inside the box. And Gay Clichy was talking about how Arsenal variate their set piece. But Arsenal only created one heavy moment from set piece from them in the first, that one that Madueke got a shot off. That was only, otherwise they dealt with everything like Dambon said. You put the tall guys in the first pole and in the final pole. So they have to win that first pole because anybody that goes higher than them is going to the last pole. Then you have those men too with height there who are there to clear it out. So when it comes to the middle, it becomes scrappy, and that's where you put the body on the line. So I love you don't get it too often. I've not seen a game where both teams didn't want to lose like that of yesterday. I've not seen a game like that. None of them was really, even the Liverpool we are talking about. If you say, okay, Arsenal, Liverpool started with a double pivot.
Yeah, they did.
Gravenberch and McAllister. They started with a double pivot, and after they want to make a sub, they placed a runner in Gravenberch. In Curtis Jones.
Yes.
They introduced a runner.
I think his substitution, because Alexis McAllister is like he struggled with the physicality.
Exactly.
And the intensity of the game. I think that was where Alexis McAllister struggled in the game, and then the substitution helped because Curtis Jones could resist that.
He's a runner.
Yeah, he could resist it.
He's a runner.
From what he was trying to do with the ball, I think trying to run with the ball, that was where he got the free kick.
Yes.
Scored, which is a very good substitution from Arne Slot, which I think since the first day he came to the Premier League, he has been spot on with his substitutions. He has been very good with all of these kind of things, and I think he deserved the 3 points yesterday because of the impact that.
For instance, I looked at the Arsenal lineup, and I'll tell you this: I understand why Merino had to start. He scored over both games against Liverpool last season. He scored against 2 games last season, back-to-back games.
They need somebody in the final third to help with the pressing,
and they need somebody in the final third to help with the pressing. Then I also understood why Eze didn't start. He hasn't trained that much. Yeah. But you look at Calafiori, has suddenly relegated Maskeli to the bench.
Yeah. Straight.
And then you look at Christian Mosquera, who came in for Saliba after just 5 minutes. Saliba even got injured in the warm-up. Twisted his ankle, but he said he can do it. All right, let's move away from that one. I must credit Liverpool. I must credit Liverpool too for the manner which they were set up, the way they came about it, and the way they finally won the game. Because after that goal, they were not getting overexcited. Yeah. They packed the bus. Yeah, it's a simple analogy.
I think the coach took off one of his forward players. Is it Hugo Ekitike that went off for Endo?
Yes.
Florian Wirtz.
Wirtz
went off for Endo.
Endo.
They just
and then we need to say they ended that game with 7 defensive-minded players. But he doesn't care. At the end of it all, he's winning 3 points.
Yeah, of course, nobody cares because this season, I think,
yes,
right from the start, things have not been easy for them.
Yes,
they've been picking up the points. They have been picking up the
points. Who cares?
Yeah, nobody cares.
They have 9 points.
Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. Especially in this kind of big games, nobody expects you to dominate from first minute to the 90th.
Exactly what Arteta said that they were saying. He said we came to make it difficult for them. It's normal. You are not expected to dominate from the. It's a top game.
Yeah, of course.
It's two top teams.
Yeah, against the top side. So you can only pick up your moments, and then after that, you try to make sure that you go home with the points. And I think that is what Liverpool did. I think Virgil van Dijk had a fantastic game yesterday.
Konate?
Yeah, exactly. Konate
was brilliant.
Yes.
Szoboszlai? Okay, and ironically, Arsenal didn't attack, but the best players for Liverpool were the defenders. Make it make sense. No, I'm asking Joshua Eliabu. Arsenal didn't attack, but Liverpool best players were their defenders. Make it make sense.
I think for the series, especially Van Dijk, Joker has contributed so much.
No, but make it make sense that Arsenal didn't play well, but the best players for Liverpool were their defenders. No, you can't even write this. All right, so let's move away.